Okay, so the recording is live. We're streaming. This is how we use the Discord. I was just explaining how these are, it's an add-on. So is the background theme and all the different colorings and stuff. It's just a theme that you can add to Discord. You guys won't see it by default, especially if you're on a phone. So these tabs up here just allow me to switch between the channels. So if I want to go look at James Legends options, I can click on that one in a moment. It's going to take a while because I'm streaming. So let me just change back to this tab here. I'm not sure if it is, but it's I'm okay with it. I think it's if you use it for automating anything, that might be against the Discord TOS. I'm not using it to gain access to information I don't already have access to. I'm just reskinning things basically. We do bump our server. If I used an add-on to bump that every 2 hours, then yes, that would definitely be against Discord TOS. Or if I were using it to see hidden channels and stuff like that, hidden information through the API, then yes, that would definitely be a violation of Discord terms of service. So again, I'm just working on this one. I'm live streaming, so my name and stuff is going to be up here. If you're not live streaming, your name and stuff will be down here, I believe. So let's just look at the channels. Okay, so let's assume I just joined the channel, or I just joined the server. Okay, I'm a brand new member. It brings me to this page first. I agree to the server rules. I click this checkbox here that unlocks the rest of the channels, right? From there, I'll be able to see all these extra channels here, right? Minus this. Well, I guess you guys can see this too. If I were in a different stream, in a different channel, I would show that on the stream, but you guys wouldn't be able to see it. Okay, so if we just walk down these channels really quick, we could walk through some of them, right? The disclaimer is just disclaimer. It's saying, hey, don't be toxic, don't violate Discord terms of service, no hate speech, stuff like that, and that this is for education and information purposes. All the good stuff. It's got a link to our website, and then they have links to the Join Premium channel and the Premium Offer channel. Okay, so that's just basics. You know, hi, how you doing, right? Beneath that, we have an events and updates channel, and this is a very important one because this is where if you're ever on the Discord, you're going to see a lot of notifications, and this is kind of true for every Discord server. We use these everyone tags to make sure that everyone can see when something is happening. So if you look at an alerts channel, you're going to see an everyone tag. If you look at this events channel, you're going to see an everyone tag. This is just our way of notifying everybody that something is important. Okay. So we've gotten a lot of feedback. It was pretty cluttery for a while. So now we're just putting the everyone tags in this channel when there's a scheduled event and in the alert channels when there's an alert. Okay. So that cut down on the number of tags dramatically. So hopefully everyone's happy about that. So events in this channel are programmed to post 30 minutes in advance. So for this example, 9:30 this morning, Eastern time, it posted that at 10 o'clock, there was a tea time event with Mr. Stocklock Profits, which most of us just came from. And it just gives you enough time to plan in advance so you can get here, you can get set up, you can maybe reschedule stuff, but not too far in the future where you're going to forget about it, right? So this channel is very important. If you're not looking at the alert channels, this is probably where I would pay attention to my notifications in this channel, because every time we have a live stream, you know, on Facebook, social media, YouTube, you know, anything that pertains to one of our staff members streaming or something, it's going to be in here. Even our game night on Saturday nights at 8 o'clock. That's all posted in here, and it's a structured basis. So that way, if you can only make one particular stream, you'll know exactly when it is every week because we have our schedule, right? So this is our schedule. It's got all the free events, all the premium events, and the bonus events, okay? This also posts every morning around 6 o'clock Eastern. So if you miss the schedule, you can just look the next morning or you can scroll up and find it. So if you're wondering when like the next PBU stream is, if you're in semester 1, it's going to be on Monday. If you're in semester 2, it's on Tuesday and Thursday. You know, we have 4 o'clock today. We have a market recap on Facebook. So you guys can kind of get a feel for how the scheduled events work with this channel. Below that, we have a Discord map. Okay, so this is for people who, you know, are new to this specific server, right? And there's a lot of channels in the server, especially when you join Premium. You guys don't see a lot of channels as free members, but this kind of breaks it down by category, right? Penny Boys University, for example, you have the enroll link, then you have the main social chat, and then you have the alumni section if you're an alumni member. If you're not an alumni member, you're not going to see that channel. Just like we're not premium and we're not enrolled in Penny Boys University, so you're not seeing that section here. You're just a free member at this point. Okay, and then we have a trading plans channel and alumni classes and stuff like that. And then we have the Discord, the help section, all that good stuff. If you need to make a ticket, if you're having technical issues, you can create a ticket. If you get spammed in your DMs, you can report the spam. And then we have the alerts section right here. So all the alerts channels are right here. That's where you're going to see Austin, Lee, Mr. Big Quench, Mr. Stocklock Profits, Amy, Amajama, Grind and Analysis channel, Alerts by Legends, that's Jam Legends, Swing and Day Trades. There's all kinds of different alerts, and we're going to walk through how to trade them in a moment. Then all the options section. So if you're an options member, you're going to see this section as well. So you're going to see it on top of that. And I'll add the roles as we go so you guys can get a feel for how many more channels you're going to see. And then there's the lounge. So this is just the social channels. So we have our live streams in the trading floor, in the lounge, and in Market Talk. So depending on what the schedule says, this is where you'll want to be when that stream starts. And you can type along in this live stream chat channel, just like you're doing now in the free live stream chat down here. There'll be a separate one for premium section. And then there's Premium Pro if you get to that level. But you guys aren't going to see that. And then there's a Penny Boys Advanced Education if you're a PBA member. That's the course that I teach. And again, that's separate. So if you're not a PBA student, you're not going to see that section, even if you're premium, right? Then we have contests and stuff like that. We do giveaways pretty often. Trading information. This is where we have the some extra education. And then we have this Penny Boys free section, right? And these are the channels I'm going to go through really quick. I'm not going to go through all of them because, a lot of it is pretty monotonous and you can kind of figure out what it is because there's a description for each of these. And then, of course, we have a military section. So if you are in the military, if you were in the military, or if an immediate family member is or was in the military, open up a support ticket and I can join. I can add you into there. It's totally free. There's no obligation. This is separate from trading, right? So we don't really talk about stocks in there. We talk about like Army stuff, and we share memes about the Marine Corps. This is a dedicated resource just for people who are in the military or have family in the military, just to have a place, right? The purpose is just to go with you no matter where you go, to have the shared resources. You can talk and offer advice and stuff like that. And then we have a randomness section. Austin as well hosts a addiction recovery meeting every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe. So if you're struggling with addiction or if you're in recovery, no matter how long you've been clean or if you're looking to get clean, that's a great resource to have as well. And then we have a bunch of miscellaneous channels like Unsupervised where you can share memes. We have a Dare Lily's channel to show support for our staff member and friend. And then we have, cat and dog pictures, memes, motivation channel, music. Basically, we got a whole bunch of different stuff, right? Business Center for those who are looking to do some professional networking. We have gaming sections for those who want to play games with each other. We have a sports section for people who like sports. And then there's just the general, the disclaimer and kind of explanation of how to do stuff. So if you're ever confused about a channel, you can look in here in the Discord map. It lists out every channel that we have, and you can see a brief description of it, as well as a link to it. So, no, I'm sorry, the links aren't enabled right now on this this roll. Sorry. Okay, so once we've done that, right, then we have the channels I already talked about, support and report spam. So again, if you need to open a ticket, you go to support. And I guess I should break this down a little further. So what we see here on the left column are categories. So the start here is a category. If I minimize that, you won't see those channels underneath it. So categories are made up of channels, right? And you can collapse them. So new to premium is a category. Help is a category. And everything inside of those is a channel, right? So if I don't want to see a bunch of stuff, I can minimize those and I can mute the channels and stuff like that. If you're a free member, for example, you can mute the Testimonials channel, right? If you're not here for testimonials, you can mute that. If you're not here to look at other people's profits, you can mute that. If you're here for education, you can leave this one open, right? This is where we host a bunch of videos. So if you're new to trading, you have plenty of a head start here with just these videos, right? We go through a little bit of everything. This is just kind of a sample of what we offer in the Penny Boys University. That's an 8-week course. And then there's more education after that once you graduate. So if you're wondering what floats are, you can watch this video. If you want to know how to trade during a red market, or if you work 9 to 5, you can watch this video. Stuff like that. Then, of course, we have the free alerts section. And this is probably where most of you guys are focusing, I think. Amy posts her watch list around 8 o'clock every morning, sometimes a little early, sometimes a little later. It's around 8 o'clock. And then for these, she has the ticker, right? So you go to Webull or Robinhood or whatever. I assume you're going to be in Webull if you're trading at 8 a.m. because Robinhood doesn't allow you to trade until 9. And then the entry here for these, since these are momentum or breakout trades, you're going to wait until the price breaks above the entry as opposed to a swing trade, which we'll get to in a moment. And for those, you wait until the price is below it. Okay. And then here's the two targets. There's a target 1 and a target 2 and a recommended stop loss. Stop losses, as I'm going to get into in a little bit, are recommended, and each trade kind of has to be traded on its own merit. So if you get stopped out, you can always look for a re-entry, but ultimately if you're trading something like this, it's a momentum trade, you usually want to obey that stop loss, just because you want the trend to go in your favor. You want an impulse, a breakout. You want to catch that momentum. So if it gets down to this price, it's no longer running in that direction. So but we'll get to that in a little bit when we break down the types of trades. So here's some free trades. You guys can make plenty of money with those while you're learning, being patient, using small position sizes, all that good stuff. And then every now and then we have an IR or a publication, an extra opportunity out here, right? So companies that we've been watching for a long time, maybe have good potential. We try to release some of these, some information on them, right? So that you guys can kind of put them, it puts them on your radar, right? We do a little bit of the due diligence for you, maybe a little bit of charting. You guys can check those out and trade them if you'd like, but you don't have to, right? And then we have the social channels, right? So we have Stock Talk Free, if it ever loads. And then we have Option Talk Free. So these are just social channels. You can talk about stocks and options. This is where I think most of the free members hang out, but we do have a lot of lurkers who just don't chat, and that's okay, right? We're not all here to be social. Then we have a Crypto Talk Free channel as well. Members can put their ideas out there. They can say, hey, check out, MULN at such and such price. You have to understand this is not an official alert. So if you see something in the Stock Talk Free channel from a member, unless their name is like green or Naphtali here, Nick, his name is blue, that means he is a staff member. Green means we're admins and staff. So anything with like a gray name like this, no offense, Zach, I'm not calling you out. You just have to understand that this may not be kind of vetted by someone who's part of our staff, right? They could very well be successful traders, and it could be a very good entry opportunity, but this is kind of separate from us. So if you see something, I don't see anything specific in here, but if somebody says, hey, I want to enter, UVXY at such and such amount, you have to understand that is not an official alert from us. So if you trade it, it's kind of at your own risk. Okay. A little more risk than when we put out our alerts. Okay. So just something I want to clarify, like Tagman here saying Enron, feel free to trade that all you want. And then there's just a couple other channels. There's NFT stuff. If you're new to NFTs, if you're confused, if you think they're a scam or a hoax, you can check out that channel and learn a little bit. If you're interested, if you're not interested, you can mute that channel and it'll disappear when you collapse the section. Right. And then we have a PB charity section. So anytime we have a charity, if we want to raise some money to help people who are struggling, usually it's smaller organizations. We try not to target like bigger organizations like the Red Cross and stuff. We want to help the smaller local charities because they have the most impact in our opinion, or at least in my opinion. So we find, we find some pretty good ones, and then, we reach out to them. We make sure that they're open to having their donations collected on our behalf, or we send them directly to you guys, to them. And then that way they're able to collect charities through another stream. And, we don't keep any of that money. We're just promoting them so that they can get exposure, right? Because people need help. We're not going to exploit that. So then we have the free live stream chat channel, which you guys are using now. And that's if someone is streaming like I am right now and I'm talking, you guys cannot unmute your mics, but you can chat along in this channel. So if it's ever a stream and you want to maybe say, like if I ask if anybody wants to look at a ticker, you can type your ticker into the chat and I can look at it. And then we have the gaming section. This is, again, it's a text channel and 2 voice channels for people to play games with each other. You can play Rocket League, Call of Duty, Warcraft, whatever you want to play. Again, just understand that these channels might not be safe for work. So if you're in game 1 playing Rocket League on a hidden workspace computer and your headphones come open and someone's talking about something your boss shouldn't hear, you have to kind of acknowledge that going in, right? You don't want to have a Call of Duty lobby blaring. All right, so this is what a free member will see. Okay, so let me just uncollapse these sections. I'll expand them. Uncollapse is not a word. So we have a list of the channels, a list of categories. We understand how live streams work. You just click on this to join. Obviously, you've done that if you've gotten this far. And then here you can type, right? If I type in stuff here, I can hit enter. Eventually. Now, if I want to edit that, I can press up on my keyboard and I can edit it then and hit enter to save it. Or I can right click on it and I can edit message or delete it if it's mine, right? I can't delete other people's messages if I'm a free member because that would just be weird. And then over here, you just have a list of members, right? We have the staff at the top and the roles progressively decline on the right. Okay, so once we figured that out, as a free member, there are a couple things that I want to show you guys right now that you guys can use. So if you can't find a channel, okay, and you're on a computer, what you can do is hold the control key and press K. All right, and what that does is it pulls up a search. Okay, this searches your whole Discord. So if you're on different servers, like here, I'm on Atlas. Here's a Pennyboy stock alerts. Here's a DM for my friend. It's going to pull all that stuff up. So if I just type in free and I'm looking for the free live stream chat channel, I want to make sure it's on the right server, and I could just click that there and it'll bring me to this channel, right? So if I want to look for that disclaimer, I can go here. I make sure, again, I'm on Pennyboy stock alerts and I click the disclaimer channel. It'll bring me right to that channel, okay? So then again, I want to go back to the free live stream chat channel. I type that in. I can click on that, and it makes it a lot easier to get from channel to channel, especially if you don't have something like this set up where you can preset them, right? If I want to find something that someone said, I can hit Control F, or if I want to find a ticker. So this is a very powerful feature, and I think a lot of people just don't give it enough attention. So if you hit Control F or you click up here in this magnifying glass, the search box, it'll tell you some filters that you can use, right? So if I want to say, if I want to see like the last time Tagman said something, I can type from and then type Tagman and make sure I pick the right user and click I can click that with my mouse button and hit enter, whatever. And it'll look through and it'll tell me everything he's typed that I'm able to see, right? Right now I have a free role enabled, so I can only see what a free member would see. And it'll show me the various channels and the messages that he's typed, right? Now, if I want to refine this down some more to places where he said the word stream, for example, let's give that a minute, and then I press enter, it'll only show me messages where he said the word stream from him that I'm able to see. Okay, so if you're looking, for example, for an alert, so if I do in free alerts, right, I click over here, and then I say, I don't know, let's see. Yeah, click back on that again. Right, and I type MULN in the free alerts channel. That tells me if I'm using the in keyword, it tells me it's going to restrict it to only in this channel or whatever channel I pick, and then it's only going to match this string, so this series of letters. Okay, so in this case, this pulls up every free alert message that has the text MULN in it, even if that's part of a word. So if I type any, it can show like anytime, anywhere, anyone. So you got to be mindful of that as well. All right, so you can see these are all the times that we've alerted MULN for free members. Okay, and you can see dates and times and all that good stuff. But that's all the free alerts that we have for that particular stock. And we found it by typing here. So if you ever lose a target, so you say, what's the price target on CUEN, for example? I can look right here. I can look it up. And I can see that the entry was above 180. The targets were 184.5 and 189 with a stop of 172. Okay. So if you're ever curious about what a price target is, you can find that pretty quick. All right. So, you know, that's pretty basic stuff, right? Nobody is expecting anyone here to be a computer wizard at this point. So Control K and Control F help you with that. And if you're ready to join premium, or I'm sorry, let's look at the free trading classes, right? So these are all external links. So if I click on one of these, it's going to ask me if I want to visit this link. I've already approved these, I believe, for myself, so it probably won't ask me on this stream. But if I click this one, for example, I don't know if I have this screen shared. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me check my Discord. No, you cannot. Okay. But it opens a link in another window, whatever my default browser is. And that's that, right? It's pretty simple. You know, if you say yes, it'll open it. If you say no, it won't. Okay. So there's no crazy rocket science behind that. Sorry, let me just check all my stuff real quick. I forgot I was trading also. All right. So that's pretty straightforward, right? So every morning, if you're a free member and you just want to trade, you just go in here to this free alert section around 8 o'clock or so. You add all these to a watch list. We'll walk you through how to do all that stuff in a moment. So you find the alerts here, and then that's really all the channels you have to look at, right? Unless you want to socialize, then you can go to Stock Talk Free. If there's a live stream, you can hop in this one or the live stream chat if you want to talk along. Other than that, there's really not much you really have to look at here, except for this events and updates channel, just to know when the streams are. And then if you want to join premium, you got to know where the premium offer and join premium channels are. Okay. So if you decide to join, like if you make enough money with those free alerts and you want to take it a step further, you can hit the join premium button and just come in here and type join, and somebody will help you, right? We send a little emoji react, and then we reach out with a DM, right? Other than that, you don't really have to look at any other channels, right? We have a testimonials channel if you want some encouragement, a little bit of support, just to see what other people's experiences have been here. But again, this is not something that you need to see. Same with the profit channel. People are going to make profits. People are going to lose. I encourage people to celebrate both because it's experience and education. Not all profits are cash, and that's okay. I care about how consistent you can be first, and then the P&L will work its way out. So, don't stare at this channel all day, every day, because it's just going to make you feel bad if you're not doing well. So, this is, again, it's an optional channel. You don't have to look at this. We have free education, free alerts, free social channels, all that good stuff, free live streams. That's really where the value is here as a free member. And then again, when you're ready to kick it up a notch, you can join premium, and let's add premium. And then I'll show you guys what a premium member will see. So we'll get rid of that and we'll enable premium. Okay. Oh, hopefully can you guys still hear me? Okay, thanks. All right. So as a premium member, you obviously get access to a bunch of other channels, right? You get the alerts channel. So let's just walk from bottom to top here, or top to bottom, right? So you still get the events and updates channel. You still get the Discord map. You get access to this channel as well. It's the new member orientation channel, and that's where Tagman has his live streams to welcome the new members and teach them the basics of how to manage their portfolios. Okay, so if you're new, definitely go to this and definitely take notes, because this is very important stuff. It's very good. And then if you want to enroll in the Penny Boys University, which is our 8-week education course, it's included with premium. You just go here and you emoji, and it'll automatically assign you to the correct cycle. We rotate the cycles once a month so that people don't have to wait too long for the next cycle to start. The classes are once a week, so it's nothing crazy. Let me just get rid of that. Then, you have the same support and report spam channels, but you get these alerts channels as well. You get a lot of them, right? You get the alerts feed channel, which just compiles all the alerts, indiscriminate of who alerts it. So if you're someone who just trades whatever and you just want to look at each one for yourself, you can go to this alerts feed. Most people tend to gravitate towards one shot color or another, and that tends to align with that person's trading style. So if you're someone who likes swing alerts and you're okay trading stocks with a lot of heavy drawdown, or maybe take a little bit longer than a few minutes, maybe a few days or a few weeks, or maybe even sometimes a couple of months, Lee's trades are mostly swings. They're mostly at least overnight. Sometimes they take a couple of weeks, a couple of months. These, you build down a position slowly, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Amy has some swings as well. They're typically in this channel. And then James, obviously, the day trades channel, however, this is where the faster paced, like the momentum breakouts and stuff like that are. So if you're someone who is a full-time trader, you just have the day off or something, and you want to just get some momentum trades in, or maybe slower day trades, you go in this channel, and you can trade those, right? If you don't want to see these, the alerts. So if we look at this day trades channel, let me just scroll all the way down to the bottom. Right, you can see here, please don't try to trade any of these. These are not, like, I don't know if these are real time. Yeah, no. Don't do that. This is just they're faster paced, right? So when you see an alert, you see the actual alert, right? So this is a momentum trade for CELZ. The entry here, since we know it's a momentum trade, we know the entry is above this level. So when it hits 298 or higher, that's when we look for entry. Again, it shows the 2 targets here as well as a stop loss, and you can see who alerted it. So in this case, it was Amma Jamma. She's the one who alerts our momentum trades. So you see the alert and it gets tagged. And then you also see when the stock hits the targets. So this one hit both targets, right? So you just get in, get out. That's kind of how they all work, with the exception of looking, again, at swing trades and stuff like that. You typically want to build those down. And there's various strategies for that. We have crypto alerts. We have retirement alerts. Those take a while. So maybe like up to a year, maybe a little over a year. These are ones you can kind of just set and forget. We provide a bunch of the due diligence, a lot of the research. And then, of course, you have to decide whether or not it's appropriate for you to trade that after you can see what we've vetted, right? Then there's the alert info bot. You can use this to kind of you can ask the bot questions about stocks, like you can look for the alert again. You can look for support and resistance levels, all the good stuff, right? Then we have a news channel. This shows, it shows like market halts and stuff like that. Not sure what happened there. Maybe it was a different channel. That's an older channel. No, it's not. Okay. Anyway, it's a news channel where we can post alerts for tickers that we like and streams. But the streams should all be in the events and updates channel now. So you shouldn't be seeing stuff like this. You can see this one's back in January. So we'll revisit that channel. All right. And then below that, you have this is a premium lounge category. This is all social channels, right? So if you're not here to be social, you don't have to look at any of these channels. Okay. And again, this is what a premium member would see. So if you're just here for the alerts, all you really need to look for is this events and updates channel to know when the streams are, and the alerts channels. And that's it, right? Anything below here, you don't really need if you're not here to be social. If you're here to be social, then yes, you're going to want to use Stock Talk. You can use your options chat if you're an options member. This live stream chat channel is for the premium streams. We're using the free one down here, this free live stream chat, which I'm going to check in a moment. I just want to make sure I don't miss anyone's questions. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to get into how to actually approach the trades and stuff here in a moment, but I have to make sure that everyone understands how the Discord works and what we have here. There's been a little bit of confusion, so I want to make sure everyone's on the same page here. So social channels, contests, and then of course the free section that you already see as a free member. Okay. So that's kind of the introduction. And then you see the sports section and stuff like that. Now, if we enroll in the Penny Boys University, okay, let me just go ahead and add that one. I'm going to have to do the blue one, I believe. Where is it at? Somewhere around here. There's so many. Well, maybe it's up top. For this, let me just add that to myself. So when you enable that role, when you enroll in the Penny Boys University, you now have access to this Penny Boys University section, but you have more channels in it, right? So you have a PBU chat. That's the social channel. That's where you can ask questions, go over the homework and stuff like that. Then you have the actual class channel, right? So if I click on this, February cycle is in their second semester. They're in their second month. So now you can see all of the classes, right? The classes and the live stream recordings for each one. And then we have a PBU trading plan. So when it's time to make your trading plan, we can put your trading plan in this channel, right? So you can share insight with each other. You can help each other out. And then there's a voice channel where we do the actual live stream in the class and go over the homework and stuff. Okay. So let me go ahead and drop that role right now because we don't need that. And you guys aren't going to have access to this stuff. This is just me as an administrator walking through how the different things will look. As an alumni, right, you'll see the alumni channels and you'll have access to all the previous classes. So it's good stuff. So once you're an alumni, you graduate, you have access to all the education that you went over so far and some extra education content. If you're an options trader, right? Oh, is that the wrong role? Or no, it's down below. Okay. As an options trader, you'll have access to all these options channels. So if you don't like options, you don't need to look at these, right? But if you do like options, this is probably where you're going to want to focus, right? You have several options alerts channels, including a small account options channel. And then you have a social channel, a channel where members can put their options ideas, and then the voice channel where we can do live streams and stuff like that as well. Okay. So I'm trying to get through these as quick as I can, but I want to make sure that I explain them properly. Because when you join, there's a lot of channels and it can be very overwhelming if you're not sure what you're looking at. And then we'll just go to the advanced trading here really quick. So in the advanced section, we have shorts. We have shorts alerts, short chat channel. We have the PBA chat. That's where our social channel is. This is where we go to kick the education up a notch, right? So once you've done the Penny Boys University, or maybe you're an experienced trader and you're just coming in to kind of fine tune and learn more, you go into the Penny Boys Advanced. We have one new class every week until I die. And then we have a PBA Trades channel, which follows a small account along, as well as a voice channel for the classes and the live streams. So we'll go ahead and drop that one as well. And then just the, sorry guys, we'll get rid of that. And we'll get rid of this. All right, so I'm actually just gonna disable this and I'll just show all the channels so I can see everything. Okay, so now that you're a member, you've maybe signed up and you have access to all these channels. I mean, you guys aren't gonna see all these channels, but once you're in here and you're kind of familiar with how things work, then you're going to want to start to look for the education and the how to trade, right? Because that's why we're really here. All right, so there are many different types of setup, and that's kind of the importance of understanding how the how trading works, right? So I can if I were to look at Lee's alerts again, if we look at this channel, sorry Lee, I don't want to give away too many alerts here real quick. I just want to look through well, you know what? We'll look at ADBE here, for example, right? So the entry here, the ticker is ADBE, so Adobe, right? We can see that it was put at 12:03 p.m. It's got an everyone tag, so we would see this as a notification. It would pop up in this channel. So if you're ever curious when the new alerts come out, you'll see right here, there's a number next to each channel. That just means that there's an unread notification. So you've seen this everyone tag pop up. So the ticker here is Adobe. The type of trade is a swing, right? It's not a momentum. In this case, it's a swing trade. It's not a day trade. It's not a breakout. It's just a swing trade, which means that we might be holding it for a day, 2 days, 3 days, a couple of weeks. But it's a swing trade. So it's not intended to be traded quickly. And it usually also means that we're willing to build these down a little bit. Okay, each one is different. There's many different types of setup. So it's really going to depend on what the setup provides. Okay. But you'll see here, it says ideal entry below. Instead of above, it says below because it's a swing. Okay, so you got to pay attention to those. The price here for entry is 422. And then, of course, you have your two targets. The stop price here is 10% max. So stops for swings are a little bit different. Some people like to just set them as soon as they put their first buy in, and that's okay. But the way that we teach breaking up the buys and stuff like that, I think the majority of us prefer to set them once we're about 50% in or more. And I'll walk through that in a moment too. And then usually there's some notes like this. So if it's like a risky Chinese play, or if it's a like say a Tesla sympathy play or something like that, it'll be in the notes here. So any kind of risk factor or something like that's usually in the notes. And then you can see here it's alerted by Mr. Stock Lock Profits. Okay. And then I do have some other videos where I break down how to trade all those individually. So I don't want to burn everyone out here on this, but the idea here is that we can then identify, what type of trade this is, on what ticker, what price we're looking to get in, and what price we're looking to sell at, right? As well as roughly how much we want to let it breathe. Okay. So again, it's not anything crazy. Every trade is different. So, we've had trades that we've had open for a couple of months. They're down pretty far. So members can choose whether or not they want to hold on to those, or if they want to stop out and get a better entry, or maybe they just don't want to touch it again. And that's okay. That's the whole point of having a trading plan and being able to stick to it. Okay. Yeah. So let me see if I can pull this over. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to pull my Weeble over here, and I'm going to have to change this so I can share my screen. Hopefully it doesn't mess up my stream. I think it just lets me, hopefully it'll just let me change windows without booting all you guys. Screen 2. Okay, so let me know if you guys can see my Weeble. And I'm just going to change the chart around a little bit so that we can get to 2 charts. And what ticker was that? I don't remember what ticker that was. That was Adobe, sorry. And we'll do indicators as well. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is pick some time frames here, right? So let's just say, let's just go back to that alert really, really quick, right? Just go back up here to Lee's alert channel. Okay, so click alerts by Lee. Okay, and again, this is not going to be a super comprehensive walkthrough how to trade. I'm just going to walk through like the most recent alert. So okay, so for CELZ here, it's a day trade. Okay, so the ticker is CELZ. So I'm going to pull up CELZ. Okay, and I have a grid set up here. We have videos on how to use Webull and stuff like that, but I've opened a two chart grid here, and it syncs the symbol and indicators and the crosshair. So this allows me to look at the same stock on two different time frames, and I'm just going to erase these lines as well. Okay, so this is not going to be a Webull tutorial or anything like that. So it's important to note the time, right? If you ever see a day trade or momentum trade, you really have to look at the time. Swings too, right? Because sometimes the swings can just go straight up from that entry and they hit target. So you don't want to chase anything that's already hit. So when in doubt, it's always best just to wait for a brand new alert. All right. Actually, yeah, let's not do that. Let's do a swing. Yeah, so we'll go back to Adobe. Sorry, guys. I apologize because I want to show you guys how to like add things to watch lists and build them down and stuff like that. So so as a premium member, if I just joined premium, okay, let's just assume I'm just here for the alerts. I don't care about the education. I don't care about anything else. I already know how to trade. I just want to trade this alert right here. It's a swing trade. It's on Adobe. So I pulled up Adobe. And first thing I'm going to do is right click and I'm going to add this to a watch list, right? And I've dedicated a watch list for his swing. So I'm going to add it to that watch list. Beyond that, I'm not going to look at anything, right? I don't have to look at the chart. What I do want to look at is whether or not this fits my price budget. So if I'm on $1,000 account, I can't trade this. I can't trade it effectively because one share is going to take 42% of my account. So that means I have one opportunity and I'm overcommitting. Okay, so typically we encourage using about 10% of your portfolio per swing position and no more. And then breaking that 10% up into smaller buys. So on a $1,000 account, you'd use $100 per trade or per position, per stock. And then you break that $100 up into smaller amounts based on whatever your trading plan is. And we teach you how to do all that stuff. I don't want to get too deep in the sauce on this. So let's just assume I have a larger account and I want to trade Adobe and I've agreed that it's a good trade. So first thing I'm going to do is plot my lines. So I'm just going to go here, stretch this out a little bit. And I'm just going to plot my levels with horizontal lines. Let me go to the 3-minute here just because it's easier to stretch the price out. Well, it's supposed to be. Okay. And if you don't know how to use Webull, again, we have all kinds of streams on that. I'm not going to make these hyper specific or anything. 422, and then the first target's 430. Right, 430. And then second target's going to be 440. Okay. Then I'm just going to go color code them and lock them in place. Right. So that's a target. I use green for my target. So I'm going to make it green and I'm going to lock it. Right. That's target 1. Make it green, lock it. Okay. This is my entry price. So I'm going to make this blue and I'm going to lock it. Okay. So nothing crazy so far. I'm just plotting out the basic levels on my chart. Right. So the idea is that we would like to start building our position at this level and we would like to start taking profits at this level. Right. That's kind of how it works. It's important, again, to notice the time. So this is 12:03 p.m. Eastern. So that was around, what would have been here-ish, right there. Right. And I'm just going to make this blue as well and lock it in place. And this is just my personal method. You can use whatever you want, whatever is most comfortable for you. It really doesn't matter how you do this. The idea is that you keep track of something and you're consistent. Okay. After that, I don't need this channel anymore, so I can put this away. Right. I've added it to a watch list. What's up? Somebody had a question. Oh, anyway. So once I've added it to this watch list, right, I'm just gonna I can look at this watch list to identify all the swings that he's alerted, right? And that, again, this is just for Lee's alerts. You can use them for any kind of anything, right? This watch list though is a pool of resources. I don't want to trade every single thing on here at all times, right? I just want to look at this list when I need something to trade or when I have an open slot and can trade something. Okay, if you try to look at all these at once, you're going to go nuts. It's going to be bad. You're going to run out of money. So I personally allot myself up to 10 swings using 10% of my portfolio at any given time. Okay. If I'm an options trader or a day trader, those numbers are going to be different. But if I'm just doing swings, then I can I use up to 10%, 10 times, and that tells me I only need to look at 10 of these, right? So if I'm just looking at 10 of these, it's a lot less overwhelming than it would be if I look at the whole thing, okay? So I'm just going to go through these in my spare time. I'm just going to do my work. I'm going to look at each one, and I have notes set up for them. Let me just pick one that I already have notes taken for. I think I have one on Clove. Nope. That one already hit. Let's just pick this one, NCLH. So I have a notes template that I use for my DD, my due diligence. So for this one, I've determined that I like to look at the 4-hour time frame and the 1-hour time frame because those are the cleanest. And I've already done this work, so I already know which time frames are appropriate for this stock. I haven't placed any buys, so I don't have anything in here. I didn't finish this one because I believe it was part of another stream, but this is where I would mark out, when they had their last earnings, when their next earnings is likely to be. I like to put their website, the sector, things like that in here. So I make sure that when I'm looking at these trades, I'm not overcommitting to any specific sector. If all your portfolio is just biotech, you're going to have a hard time in the market, right? Then I kind of give a brief technical description, like if it's a daily gap down with a resistance trendline break, that's my favorite setup. So I'll type it in here and say, okay, this is a low float stock. It's going to run with volume. And then I just kind of describe what the company is. Is it a cybersecurity company? Is it a biotech? Is it a airline company? Then I go through and I pull numbers out from FinViz, right? So you pull up FinViz. Let me just pull this up over here. Okay, I type the ticker in, and this obviously provides the daily view. I don't really care about that just yet. I'm looking for parameters of the stock, and this is just a browser add-on that I wrote, just color codes what I like to see. This is the stuff that tells me how the stock is going to behave when it does get volume, right? So if somebody calls Norwegian Cruise Lines a short squeeze, I'm going to laugh at them because they have a high float. It's not heavily shorted. They have good institutional backing, and they have pretty high volume, right? Average volume. They also have not the best finances, right? So I would mark all these in. I'm just going to close that window. This is where I would take all these notes and I'd put them in here and I would save it. Okay. And then I would go do a little bit of a deeper dive into the fundamentals on something like stockanalysis.com, Yahoo Finance, the SEC website. I would look at all their 8Ks, their 10Ks. I would look at, how much cash they have, how well they use their cash, stuff like that. Make sure you save the notes. And then that way, when it's time to look at the stock again, when you're ready to add or when you're doing your nightly due diligence, you don't have to do all that work again, right? Because nothing really is going to change. They're not going to get a new website overnight. They're not going to change sector. Timeframes aren't going to change. So all this work is already done. So you can just kind of look at the list of stocks that you have and just read through what you've already done and, determine whether or not it's worth placing a buy. All right. So that makes life a lot easier and it makes it a lot less overwhelming if you're only doing this for stocks that you like certain parameters on. So if something fits your price range, that's good. If something is in the sector that you don't have yet, that's good, potentially, if the sector's performing well. You can use FinViz also to assess how the sectors are behaving. So that's good. There's all kinds of different things you can look at. Just your job is to filter out the trades. It's not to try to trade every single trade. It's to pick the ones that best fit your specific trading plan and only trade those. And you want to focus on them from start to finish, no matter how long they take, unless you have some sort of capitulation strategy in your trading plan where you decide to cut it after a certain period of time, which is smart because you don't want to have your capital tied up forever. But it all depends on how you trade. That's a great question, market value. So how would you calculate the percentage of your portfolio? So if you have a $1,000 account, 10% of that is $100, right? You just pull out your calculator and just say 1,000 times 0.1, right? Or divide it by 10 because that's what a percentage is. And then that would be your total allotment for that particular stock. Okay. So then you'd break up that amount into smaller buys. Okay. And the reason we like to do that is because when you buy, right, it's just a numbers game at this point. When you buy, and if that buy is placed at an area of potential value, right, you're waiting for it to bounce off a historical support. You see a Fibonacci extension level, whatever your particular approach is, you place a buy. That stock is going to go in one of three directions. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, or it's going to go sideways, right? If you put 100% of your position right here, two out of these scenarios don't provide you with an immediate profit. Only one does. And if that's where a lot of traders get hurt because they only prepare for that profitable outcome. Okay. So if you break your buys up, you then have another opportunity down here to lower this average from here down to here, right? And then the stock can then go up, sideways, or down from there. And then when it gets back up to your average, you have an option. You can reduce your position size back to this first buy, or you can let it ride higher if you see a strong confirmation, right? And that's all. It all comes in time, right? You're not going to figure that out overnight. It's not going to be easy to do in real time. It's going to look good on paper, but when you try to do it in real time, it might be a little bit tougher, right? So, in this particular case, I'm looking at the weekly chart here. I've identified that this trade fits all my criteria that I like. It's in my price range. It's a good sector. The overall setup is good, right? We have a strong impulse to the downside. I can expect some correction. Then, I start looking at the chart only after that point. So after all these filters are in place and they're telling me it's okay to trade this, and it hasn't been filtered out, at any point, if something is filtered out, we can just remove it from that watch list and move on to the next one, right? Our job as traders, again, is to establish a plan which tells us when not to trade, okay? So if everything makes it through there, then I can start looking at the chart, okay? And this is where a lot of people start and they get messed up because they don't have a plan first. So in this case, we have a strong historical support level. We have a channel above it, so that's potentially bad, right? Because we have potential shakeout right here, right? A lot of bag holders been holding on to it for a while. They might look to dump, and there's some pretty significant volume in this range, okay? Otherwise, there's a potential gap to the downside here. So that tells me if this falls, maybe I don't want to build this down, right? Maybe I don't want to build this down all the way to 381. Maybe I do. Maybe that's my particular strategy is okay doing that. It looks like it's probably going to just run up to target soon if I keep talking. But the overall trend here was up and then it's down, right? So we have a lower low. We can expect probably a lower high somewhere around this range, right? Above 500. But that's very specific. It's not anything that we need to really worry about right now. Our job is to determine whether or not this is a viable trade for us, okay? So here you can see, this is the daily chart. Okay, we have a resistance trend line, okay? And you don't have to be a master artist, and you don't have to know exactly where these are supposed to be drawn and stuff, but you can tell if you just draw a line across the tops here, right? It's in a downtrend, so you want to draw the resistance trend line. And then you wait for that line to break, and it's coming back to retest, okay? So at this point, we have broken this resistance trend line, and if this was an opportunity up here, let's say you wanted to try to catch it off of this bottom, right? This would be a first buy. And then you would wait for that trend to develop if you decided to build it down. If you're someone who doesn't want to build things down, you just wouldn't place a buy below this trend line. You would just wait until it starts making higher highs and higher lows and stuff, okay? And again, this is it's a brief oversimplification of a complex process that takes a little while to learn. So don't just start doing this and then lose all your money, okay? But this is just kind of an introduction to how we trade these swings, okay? So in this case, we have a resistance trend line, and we're waiting for a confirmation outside. Once it's broken this resistance trend line, we have an opportunity for a confirmation. So if we get a higher low here and a confirmation, that might trigger a bigger buy, okay? But anything below this line, since it's still in an active downtrend at this point, should be a small buy, right? You don't want to hyper commit to something while it's still in an active downtrend. Once it's broken and once it confirms a reversal, that's when you can be more confident, place your stops a little bit tighter, and then you can sell off into that strength, okay? So if you're struggling with the alerts, if you're struggling with, your own trades even, just doing simple things like that, like breaking down your money the correct way, not overcommitting, not committing heavily to any one sector, taking your time and being patient, looking at the higher time frames. You want to look for time frames which are clean and well respected. Don't rely on your indicators first. The indicator should tell you that what you're already seeing is valid. Okay. A lot of people just use indicators and they lose a lot of money because they don't understand how the indicators work or what they're telling you, which is what we break down in excruciating detail in the advanced courses so that you guys can understand exactly how they work and exactly what they're showing you. But until that point, you don't want to rely just on like, oh, the 9 MA is crossing over the 20 or the 5813 EMAs are stacked bullish. Because that's not always going to be reliable. And, there's no reason to take unhealthy risk if it's not confirming something that you're already seeing within the chart, right? So until you get to that point, you got to have a fail-safe, right? So risk management should always be your number one priority. Okay, and again, this is for building down swings. All right. So I think I might have already erased my lines on Cala. Okay, so here's an example, right? So here's Cala, right? This is a daily gap fill with a resistance trendline break, which I like. Okay, so here we see that we have a resistance trendline. Let me just pull that out there so it's not so crazy. So this one is a they have an active pipeline, all that good stuff. It's one that I'm watching heavily, and you can see here I've drawn some boxes for where I've placed my buys. So in this case, I've waited for impulses to the downside to cool off and find their exhaustion period. That's when I start placing my small buys. So these are like 5 or 10% buys, right? Here it broke the trend line, right? So this resistance trend line is broken. So this period of certainty is now invalid. So I have a new setup that can evolve. Shortly after that, we got lower highs, lower lows, and all that good stuff. Now we're seeing higher highs and potentially higher lows. So as long as it doesn't drop below this level, we should expect some sort of a pull down and then a confirmation. So once we see that, then we can start getting more and more confident, and we can immediately place our stops below that low at that point because that's our low, right? If you get lower lows, it's not an intact uptrend at that point. It's compromised. Okay. Again, this is not an alert. It's not a definitive trading method. It's very oversimplified. And this is just kind of an approach that we can take to trade better and trade safer, right? So if you're struggling with the alerts, again, doing stuff like this can help you tremendously, but you really have to understand what you're trying to trade, okay? So let me just see if there was I don't have my free alerts open. Free alerts right here. Okay, so now we're going to shift from swing trades. Okay, these swing trades are great for people who work, maybe are looking for a little bit slower trades, a little bit safer trades in most cases, really so that they can get the process down and really dig into that due diligence. Okay. So now if we look for like MULN, okay, and this is the free alerts watch list. We have plenty of momentum trades in Amy's channel for the premium members, but this is just like a sample in the free alerts channel. So if we look at MULN, okay, and I'm just picking a random one here. I don't know what it did today. Sorry. And again, you could tell I did the same exact thing here, right? Small buy, and then confidence, right? But let me just erase all that because we don't care about that for this day trade, right? So we're just looking for the day trade here. So this was posted at 8:14 a.m. Eastern, okay? Target was above 337, so I'm going to go back here. I'm going to draw a vertical line, and let me just go to the 1 minute chart so we can get a more accurate cross section here. So 8:14 a.m. would have shown up on the 8:15 candle, right? So we draw a line here at 8:15. Block that. Entry price was above 337. Okay, so you guys can see that's up here. All right. Right here. Okay. And two things that we like to look for. Well, let me make that blue. Sorry, I don't know why I made that green. Two things we like to look for when we're trading momentum is you need first it to hit the price, and then second, you need to have volume. Okay. First target here is 345 and then 354. So let me just draw those out. You can see that they're very small targets because we're just trying to catch a small piece of that action. And what was the other one? 354. Okay. 354. All right. So there's a second target in case it keeps running. All right. A lot of times they do, but that's never a guarantee. Okay. And then the stop, right? 325 is the recommended stop. So in this case, had a couple opportunities here. So I'm just going to draw these out and then highlight the difference, right? So the chart, the alert was alerted right here at 8:14 a.m. Okay. And then you had no approaches to this line until we got here, right? After market open. So anything pre-market here, nobody should have been taking, right? Because this is a breakout trade. So you're waiting for it to get above that level, and it's got to have volume and it's got to be moving, okay? So in this case, maybe you bought here, maybe you stopped out, okay? I personally wouldn't have taken this one because it's very bearish, right? You got a wick here. It's just not, it didn't show a lot of confidence on the way up, okay? These are typically done there's a little padding here between previous resistance levels, and the idea is that once it breaks above those levels, it will continue to go in most likelihood. The risk, of course, is that there is also a chance that it can get rejected, okay? So in this case, it got rejected pretty hard, right? So there's no confirmation here, so hopefully nobody took this particular entry, but if you did, having a stop loss in place protects you from all this drawdown, right? So we don't want to do that either. We don't want to just stay in trades just because. And then later on in the morning, around 10:20 or so, quarter after 10, we got a second entry here, right? This is a big, strong bullish candle, but it didn't really, it didn't continue. Like there wasn't a lot of sustained volume here. There was a big candle volume, but it didn't really perform well compared to how much volume it was percentage-wise, right? It's a 2.5% green candle on 1.6 million volume. So compared to the rest of the candles around it, that's not very disproportionately bullish. So you could have hesitated on that one a little bit. Maybe you grab this one instead. Maybe you grab this one over here, right? This is a healthier one because it's pulling off the support level. So let's just say you grab this one, best case scenario, right? And you could immediately set your stop loss. You immediately set your take profits because you use brackets, which again, we could teach you how to use. It hits its first target and got rejected. Okay, targets are usually at levels of resistance. So in this case, we bought, sold at resistance, and then that would have been your successful trade. Okay. And then, if you maybe chose to re-enter here, we didn't really see a good entry. Maybe you might have got this one. It would have been okay, right? But for these, you don't want to add to them, right? And that's I think a lot of the mistake a lot of the traders kind of fall into when they see these. They buy it here, it starts to dip. They're like, oh, okay, I'll add some more, and then I'll add some more, and I'll add some more. And it's just a series of compromises. These you typically just buy, and then it's going to hit the target or it's going to hit the stop loss, okay? In this case, it held the support line and went up to above the first target, which was great, and then it fell back down, okay? So as it was making these higher lows and stuff, you could have been taking profit all along the way up if you wanted to. But since you have the stop loss in place, all you had to do once you had this, let's say you bought this one here. Okay, it forms a low and then it starts to move up, blah, 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 blah. You just keep moving that stop loss up, right? Gets up here. When it pulls back, you lock in some profit. And then you move that stop loss up once you see a higher low with a bullish confirmation. And then you lock some profits up here when it starts to pull back down. So you could have sold at the top of both of those for a pretty easy profit. And then at that point, since that momentum, that push is over with, you would have stopped out completely for a profit because your stop loss would be above your entry. All right. So these are different from swings because these you don't want to build them down. You want to just get in, get out, ride the momentum. That's why it's called a momentum. Momentum trade. You're just looking for that impulse and then you're just going to get out. Right. So does anyone have any questions about that? I know I've been rambling at you guys for about an hour now. Just going to move this back off the screen so it's not so laggy. Does anyone have any questions about how to use Discord or how to approach these trades? You can type in the free live stream chat channel if you do. Otherwise, probably just go ahead and end this stream here. Oh, I see Top is asking questions. Top is always good. I know, this guy's motivated. I just had a one-on-one with him. Yeah. No, he's a good guy. He's he shows up every day. He's motivated. He's engaged. He's got a positive mindset. Yeah. Yeah. No. Absolutely, yeah. And if you look at any of the people that have been here for a long period of time, it's exactly that. They show up every day. They're motivated. They are focused, right? They've found their way to us for a reason. So we uphold our end and we teach the education. We help. We offer guidance. They hold up their end by showing up and being consistent and learning. And Top has made so much progress over such a short period of time. I'm impressed. Yeah, exactly. That's just solid trading psychology. Yeah. Yeah. But hopefully after, I know we're going to make simpler videos that just kind of walk through everything from top to bottom, how to sign up, how to use Discord, how to use Webull, how to trade, the difference in the kinds of trades and stuff. We're going to have a big tutorial series. But for now, hopefully this stream at least helps people understand the Discord better, as well as the types of trades. Obviously, there's a lot of different nuances between the different types. There's reversal swings, there's continuation swings, there's momentums, there's breakouts, there's day trades, there's dead cat bounces, there's options trades, all kinds of stuff. It's going to take everyone some time to learn that, especially if you're brand new. You just got to find a way to forgive yourself and just keep trucking, right? And trade what you know, be profitable, be consistent. And if you don't know something, don't trade it. Just learn it, study it, do your best, paper trade, take lots of notes, learn yourself. It's all about being consistent and disciplined. And if you can't do that, you got to reach out for help. That's what we're here for. What's up? Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Hey, what's up? How's it going, Mr. Stock Like Profits? Mr. SLP, I apologize. I'll have to check that later. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And just because you guys aren't in StreamYard, so nobody on YouTube can hear what you're saying. Yeah, no, that's true, because that's the purpose of the alerts, is that it's been they've been looked at. They've been vetted by people who have been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years, and have the experience and have the insight into the market and stuff like that. So even if you're someone who trades on your own and you just don't want to do all the work, you can still use the alerts. Like, that's why I joined. I was too busy. I didn't have time to do all this stuff. So I joined. First thing I did was back tested the alerts. I was skeptical as hell, because a lot of the comments that I was seeing on social media were just too happy. Like, they were very overzealous about how awesome it was, and it just seemed a little bit culty to me. But now I see why, because I've been inside and I understand everything that we do offer here. And then obviously we want everyone to do their own research, okay? But these alerts provide a foundation, okay? That's a good starting point. Especially if you're just too busy and you know what you're doing, but you're just busy, doing that due diligence on them should be pretty quick, right? Because most of it's, the companies that we trade, you'll kind of know what to look for on them, and those kind of things will just stand out, right? Like, that if you see an earnings beatdown, the company probably has a lot of potential, and maybe they just miss guidance or something like that, or maybe they change guidance. But when you know what you're doing, it's pretty easy and it's quick. But you might just want someone else to do most of the legwork for you, and then just kind of narrow that down. It's just like using a screener, right? You're not going to go through every single stock on a screener. You're going to look for things that you know and you can trade, and that's kind of what the alerts are. They're just kind of stocks that have already been looked at. They're already vetted. They're already high quality trades. And then you just trade the ones that you are comfortable with, and the ones that fit your plan. So if you're a brand new trader, that also kind of provides a safety net, right? Because you have trades that have been looked at by someone who does know what they're doing. And then that'll help you learn how to do the due diligence. It'll help you learn to identify the different trades. And your goal as a new trader is to protect your capital while you're learning, so that it's there for you when you know how to put it to better use, and also to focus on learning. I always say, I don't care how Like, I don't care what your P&L is for the first year or 2 years. I care about how consistent and disciplined you can become, because then once you're there, that P&L will come in. It's just a matter of tweaking your plan a little bit. But if you're not able to consistently stick to that, you're going to struggle, and you're going to have a much harder time trying to refine that plan and make those profits consistently. So it's really, we always say it's 90% psychology, but it really is. It's 90% psychology, 5% putting in the work and doing the research and filtering out the alerts that don't fit your plan, and then 5% actually hitting the button correctly, right? Because you still have to have that discipline. You have to be in the right place at the right time, use the right order type, stuff like that. So if your ratio is upside down, if you're just focused on technical analysis, if you're just focused on certain types of moves in the stock market, if you're just focused on like biotechs and small caps, and you're not able to consistently remove your emotions and trade things objectively, you're going to have a very, very hard time. So that's what we're here for, is to help people find that balance and get that rock solid foundation. No matter who you are or how long you've been trading, there's always something that you can learn. And yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'm just going to repeat that again because that won't show up on the recording because you're not in the recording. So Lee, Mr. Stock Like Profits, was just saying that, especially for swings, the key, well, for any kind of trading really, is just to use as small a position as possible and not be so aggressive, right? And that's kind of the hard part, is kind of coaching people into how to pull back, right? Because everyone wants to add, they want to make money. I get it. You want to outperform that premium fee. You want to make $1 million. You want to get out of your job. You want to pay off your baby mama, get her off your back. There's all kinds of reasons that people want to make money, and I get it. This is a capitalist country. It makes sense. But you're not going to make money if you're giving it too aggressively to the market and then locking in losses. So to turn that around, what Lee was saying is that it pays to be patient and use smaller buys, and to not build too heavily too quickly, because the biggest obstacle I think most new traders have is that they feel like they have to be 100% into their trades at all times. And that's not the case. Very rarely am I ever in 100%. The goal is to get a healthy return on a healthy risk and not take unhealthy risks to get a super healthy return, because that's not as common, right? So we can always build slow, build patiently. It takes a lot of the emotion out, and that's what he was saying. Anyone who's held a bag knows how disproportionate your emotions can be towards one stock over the rest. Okay, and that's dangerous, because if you're just focusing on one stock, the rest of those stocks are going to slip. They're going to fall down, or they're going to run up, and you're going to miss take profit, because you're not paying attention to each stock equally. You're focused so much on one stock, and maybe you take profits out of one and slap it in that one to try to build it down. You're losing those profits. You're giving them right back to the market, because you're being too aggressive, and you're running out of options to manage that position by adding more and more money to it. So if you take those positions and you reduce them and you make them nice and small until you know how to trade the trade and not trade the profit, you're going to have a much better time. So it just takes a lot of the emotional charge out. It takes a lot of the stress and the impulsiveness out of your trades. When I started, I was adding 2 or 3 times a day to the same stock, all within 10%. It was terrible. I lost 80% of my money in the first month. So it really is, it's good to kind of listen to what we're saying and then scrutinize it, right? So if I tell you something, I want you to think, does this make sense? Is this good advice? I don't want you to just blindly follow it, but things like this are hard-learned lessons that people like Lee and myself and Nikki and Swinging Bull and Lily have all learned the hard way and spent a lot of money learning. We fed the market quite a bit, I'm sure. Yeah. No, nobody does it overnight. Yeah. Yeah, and that right there is an important point, right? Because we tell people not all profits are cash. Okay, you can have a losing trade and still consider that a win if you were able to get some value from it. You're still paying money. It's just a matter of whether or not you were able to get something in return. So if you can get education and experience in return for a trade that didn't hit target, that experience is going to serve you better in the future, and you can make a note of that, what went wrong, and you can use that in your future trading. I'm just kind of paraphrasing what you just said because, again, you're not on the recording, so I don't want anyone to miss that. And that's kind of the advantage of using smaller positions too, is because you're still learning the same lesson. You're just not paying more than you have to get there. So, that's the whole principle of risk management, is just risking what you have to get the healthy return, and then not giving more back than you make. So if you're someone who's bag held for a long time and then clipped your profits when it went back up, or if you've given all your profits back for a week on one or two trades, those are things we can fix pretty easily. So yeah, it's a matter of education. Make sure you take notes, study yourself, just like a chart. You have to identify your areas of support and resistance. It's if your account grows too quickly and your emotions can't keep up with that, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to lose a lot of that money. And that's a lesson that I've personally learned. So this is why I'm telling you now. I know it's sometimes I think of like little kids being told life advice by old people. And they're just like, yeah, whatever, old man. But this is legit. If I had somebody, if I had the ability to travel back in time, a couple decades and kind of give me this advice, you guys are getting this advice for free. So soak it up. I would have had a very different life. But, it's everyone is on their own path here. So we encourage. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. That's what we're here for. We're here to offer guidance, some education, and kind of help keep you guys on the rails. So we know a lot of the pitfalls, a lot of the fatal mistakes in the market, and we can help you avoid them. But you guys got to show up. You gotta be active. You got to participate. And that doesn't mean you have to be here on every stream. I know Top is awesome. But it just means that you have to want to learn, and you have to want to be patient. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient with the stock market. You will not be here in a year if you YOLO on everything and try to hold everything. You have to understand the stock market is designed to take money away from people. And we're kind of your lawyers here. We're coaching you to get you ready to go out there into the courtroom and get torn apart by the prosecution. So we don't want you guys to do that. So we're going to give you the answers ahead of time so that when it comes time to make those tough choices, you'll know what to do. So, oh no, thank you. I appreciate you. I'm secretly here just so I can steal Mr. Socklock Prophet's knowledge and use it. Yeah. Well, they're people too. No, I mean, yeah, I want everybody here to succeed. I mean, you guys found your way to us, right? You made an active effort to get to this Discord, to join it, to hit that disclaimer, and to show up to this particular stream or recording if you're watching it later. It's I think we were all free members at one point. Yeah, I mean, you guys started on Slack or something, right? You guys, just Austin and you and Tagman, I think, were just hanging out. And again, this is a very, very oversimplified rundown of a very complicated process. So, this is, I consider this basically nothing. So I know we talked about a lot. I know I rambled a million miles an hour, but we have so much more to offer in the premium section for the education. We have the free trading education out here for the free members. So if you guys are not sure whether premium is worth it, you guys are more than welcome to hang out in the free section and soak up that education in these live streams and the free alerts. But you have to also understand what you're missing out on the longer you wait, because there's that many more alerts. I mean, you can look at I think on Amy's, let me just pull this over here. I just have these tabs open at the top here. You can see Amy's options alerts. I check these as often as I can, but they just build up so quick because these guys are constantly putting out alerts. Like we let me pull up the spreadsheet here. I'm not going to give out all the alerts, but you guys can look at the like the closed alerts. Let me just pull this over here, right? So from September 15th until now, right? These are all the alerts that are closed, whether they're for wins or losses. You can see most of them are wins, obviously. You guys can, every premium member has access to the spreadsheet so they can test it for themselves. And this is probably the first thing I did when I joined for myself. I just made my own personal spreadsheet just to kind of get some numbers, right? I wanted to get some metrics and see how well my investment was going to serve me by paying that premium fee. So as you can see, there's 559 lines here, which means there's 558 closed alerts since September 15th. So there's quite a few here. And again, it's all about how you trade. It's not any complicated process. It's not anything that involves any kind of sacrifice or no pagan rituals or anything like that. We offer the education. You guys just got to show up, study it for a little bit, put it into practice, and make money. Sure. Who is that? Oh yeah. Hey man, I'm glad you're here. What's up? For the spreadsheet? Okay, yeah, that's actually a good point. So if you look in Stock Talk or in the Alerts by Lee channel, you can look at the pinned messages, and that'll have the most recent link for the spreadsheet. What you can also do is you can hit Control F if you're on a computer, and you can type, like if you can't find the pinned messages button, you can just type in and then type Lee, and it'll bring up the Alerts by Lee channel. You just click on that, and then you just type spreadsheet. If it looks, I suppose I should be doing this over here. Sorry, guys. I just went up here to the search bar, and I just looked in the Alerts by Lee channel for the word spreadsheet. And then you can see right here is the link for it right there. I do have to update this. I don't think I updated the link for this week. I change it every week just so that we can keep it fresh and keep it going. The actual alerts don't go anywhere. They persist from week to week, month to month. Just the link changes so that premium members you guys are paying for that. So it's we want to make sure it's protected and preserved. So you guys will always have access to it. So hopefully that answered your question. But yeah, it's in Stock Talk and the Alerts by Lee channel. It does not. Nope. So yeah, it just tells you the entry date, the date that it was alerted, the ticker, the entry price, the recommended stop, where Lee has placed his buys, up to 4 buys, the 2 targets, bonus target if it's applicable, and then whether or not it was a win or loss, and any additional notes. To determine the length of the trade, that's typically where you have to look at the stock, right? So you want to look for things like the float and volume, right? You got to make sure it's going to respond well to volume when it does come in. And then you look for things like time-based catalysts to kind of get an idea of when that volume is likely to come in. So if a company doesn't have a lot of catalysts and the stock is flat and there's a high float, for example, and low volume, it's probably not going to go anywhere anytime soon until that company puts out some sort of news headline or an announcement of some sort, or maybe their earnings. So that's typically, especially with small caps, right? You kind of have to trade the catalyst because that's where the volume is. It comes in and goes out. That's the dictating force there. It's not so much that any particular setup is going to have a specific date or specific length of time to trade on. If it's a swing, it could hit the same day. It could hit a couple of months from now. Oh, sorry. Yeah, and that's kind of that's part of the conversation we had kind of behind the scenes when we did this, because as you said, some stocks are worth holding on to. Some have high potential over longer periods of time. Some are just like dead cat bounces. You just want to trade the pop and get out. So we didn't put anything in there for that particular category because it would be just tough to track at this point. And your best bet for that is just to look through the alerts channel itself for each ticker, and you can see exactly when it was alerted, exactly when it was added to, and exactly when it was when it hit target and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. 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 And I'm gonna have to repeat that and paraphrase a little bit for the recording. Lee was just saying that on that spreadsheet and usually in the notes in his alerts, he establishes like a bonus target in case it does go past target 2, and so we're not just blindly trading it up there. If it does break out above that level, there's typically like a stronger resistance level up there, and that'll usually be identified as a bonus target or somewhere in that neighborhood, just to kind of expect when it might find some resistance, right? Of course, every trade is different. We've seen resistance levels and support levels just get blasted through 3 or 4 in a row sometimes, just straight shot. So it really just depends on the trade, right? That's kind of the main concept here is that you have to trade the trade, see everything from beginning to end, see it all the way through, and then move on to the next, rather than just trying to trade the profit and say, oh, I'm going to make this many dollars by this date. How do I do it, right? Because that's kind of forcing things, and that's dangerous. So it's good, but again, that's we teach. I think you're in premium, aren't you, Breckle? I think you are. Okay, yeah. So we have education specifically for like how to identify uh, like the different parameters of the stocks that we like to trade. So again, like if you're looking for volatility, you might look for something with high volume and low float because you know that's going to respond well to the price, to the volume. I mean, if you're looking for flat stuff, for maybe you want to do options, right? You want to sell some options and hope they expire worthless. You might look for something that's flat with a high float and low volume. There's all kinds of different stuff that you can look for, and we'll definitely get you there. I know. I made it a point. I believe it was on Facebook to make sure that we touch base or something at some point. So I wanted to get you squared away. So I appreciate you being here and reaching out. So if you need more help, definitely shoot me a DM. So yeah, with that said, does anyone else have any questions, or I'm going to cut this one off? Lee and I have a stream again today at 4:00 Eastern on Facebook. So right at market close will be on our Facebook channel. And again, that'll be in this events and updates channel. Let me just drag this over here. Sorry. So again, so this events and updates channel here, it's all the way at the top. Right. Well, not all. You guys aren't going to see all this stuff. It's up here at the top. It's events and updates. And 30 minutes before the stream, so at 3:30 Eastern, you guys will see this. You'll see something similar to one of these pop up and says, let me just pull the one from last week. You guys will see something like this. It'll say market recap somewhere in here. We have a lot of streams. So yeah, again, if you're not in premium, you guys are missing out on extra streams for sure. We do a little bit of everything. We do some education, some live trades. Yeah, there we go. So you'll see something like this at 3:30. And then it'll have the link to the Facebook group. You just click that. And then at 4:00, you just go to the actual live stream link. And then, yeah, you just hang out with us again and ask questions on Facebook. And it'll be cool. It'll be fun. We're all going to have a good time. Let me just pull up that channel again, make sure I didn't miss any questions. Okay. Yeah, so with that said, I'm probably going to end the stream here. I think I've gone over my limit, and I don't want to get in trouble. So if anybody has any questions, I'll give you that 2 seconds, and then I'll cut it off. But I do appreciate everyone hanging out. I know this is like a pretty remedial stream. I know a lot of you guys already know all about Discord and how to trade the alerts, but it's good to see new faces in here. I see market values in here. So we got a couple new faces in here. So if you're wondering, this is how we trade. This is what we have to offer. Hang on just 1 second here. Nick, I will check that in a moment. But yeah, so with that said, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the stream here. I appreciate everyone hanging out, and we'll see you guys at 4 o'clock Eastern. So thank you, and we'll see you there. Bye, Tagman.